Carnivores, welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a while, it's been a little crazy. I'm technically on summer vacation from school and it's almost October. We had some wildfires up here in the Northwest Territories of Canada, which you may or may not have heard about, but we were evacuated. School's been postponed 2 months, on and on and on. Anyways, this is not my school apartment. This is where I normally live in Yellowknife, so yeah, it's a little disheveled right now. I want to show something cool I got though. How many people are familiar with these nowadays? Hopefully you are, and if not, that's what this video will hopefully bring you up to speed on. It's an old school chest expander. Came with an extra spring, which was nice of them. And it has 7 springs on carabiners. Each spring is rated for 10 kilograms of force, so maxing this out, 70 kilograms of force. Now mind you, the longer you pull it, obviously the more force there is. So somebody like me, I'm 5'9", only got little wee half Scottish arms. It is what it is. But some cool features about it. So I've already mentioned that those springs are quick release off and on with the beaners, which is kind of nice. I also like the fact that it has 7, which is an odd number versus an even number. With an odd number, you're always going to have the possibility of balance. So for instance, if you're using 1 spring, put it in the middle. Your hand's going to have a straight pull. It's not going to be up at one end, pulling your wrist one way or the other. If you're using 2, well, just leave the middle one empty, and then you've still got balance. And you can just go back and forth symmetrically with 2, and then an odd number, and then 5, we'll say would be your next, who knows. Wherever you're working on, you're going to have balance, long story short. It has these knurled handles with bearings on them, which is kind of nice. It'll rotate. That way you're not having to have your wrist torqued up as you're moving. Now if you wanted to, you could try to keep your wrist in the same position for different challenges, but for me, I prefer to have it free rolling like this. It's extremely well made. Looks like it's got more of a dull finish, but hard chrome plated. It's looks to be 1/4 inch steel, welded quite robustly. Those are nice looking welds. I used to work as an industrial mechanic and do a lot of welding, so I definitely appreciate that. And it looks serviceable too. These bolts are all something I can take off. Hopefully they're pretty standard bearings. I doubt I'll ever need to, but if you do, there you go. I've only been using this for, I'd say, maybe 2 weeks now. And I saw the videos out there like Alex Leonidas and a few other fellas, some of the old school like Golden Era Bookworm and those guys talking about them. And I was like, yeah, it probably works, but just how good is it? I haven't done kettlebells. I'm looking at my calendar now for, this will be day 3. I just went to go do some swings even with the 55 pounder, and I am still not fully recovered from the last session with this. I should maybe push through. Maybe I'll do some light 2-handed swings just to keep the old glutes going and keep my conditioning up. But this thing will work you. Don't be fooled thinking it's some gimmicky thing with the springs that, as seen on TV, except back before TV was even thought of. This is a serious piece of kit. This will actually work your body like nothing I've ever used before. It's interesting. So my old man, he's 92. Had one of these years ago. I was talking to him on the phone. He goes, "Oh yeah, we used to call that dynamic tension. You gotta be careful if you mount it on the wall, it can hit you in the head." Okay, well, duly noted. I also used to do a bit of rigging, so I don't think that'll be an issue, but play it safe. So 7 springs. I don't think I've done any pulls on that yet, but what I do, if I take 2 of them off here, bring it down to 5, flip it around the other way. It's now at 50 kilograms of force. So after 2 weeks, and the only other weightlifting I do is kettlebells. Maybe a little bit of calisthenics once in a while, nothing that I would say is dedicated. There's a few exercises that I do, so I'll just show you a quick rundown of what I do. If you get anything different, by all means put in the comments. I have been seeing a lot of videos on these on Facebook and YouTube, so yeah, there's definitely lots out there, but basically a vertical pull apart. So kind of counter to what I'm used to with kettlebells, there's that forceful exhale at the end of a motion, and then on the return, the inhale. With the chest expander, generally speaking, for what I've seen recommended is to inhale on the pull or the expansion, and then exhale on the return. So a vertical pull apart. This one I've seen You can do it either pronated or supinated, whatever you want to do with your hands in or hands out, just to build some back strength first. I've been doing it with hands out so I can run a heavier spring. Maybe that is why I'm a little more sore than I might normally be from things. I'm also going to take my watch off. So it's funny, I can use the watch doing kettlebell swings, but obviously not snatches or get-ups or anything. If I was going to do an actual workout, I'd put that down on my ankle so I could still pick up the metrics. But yeah, you want to make sure you're not going to destroy anything in here. So I bring it up. If I go off the side, you'll see a little better. Basically, I'm going to keep my head and my neck back a bit. I'm going to pull this apart, and it's going to end up being pretty much in line with my, where your trachea kind of goes down inside between the clavicles there. So I'm going to breathe in and expand it. Don't rush this either. Like, you'll feel crazy tension the whole time. Time under tension is phenomenal with this. And then I'll exhale on the extension. From the front. Straight from the back. And I basically do those to failure at this level. So I started with 4 springs, and it's like, I'm getting like 12, maybe 15 reps, time to put a spring on it, according to research I've been doing. More so, I guess that'd be for the people into hypertrophy, but if I can keep it down to low numbers, like I'm following Pavel's Simple and Sinister from Strong First, and yeah, like small numbers of reps, but high levels of weight. I think I'm going to treat this the same way for now, and at least see what that does. Maybe I'll shift up my program a little bit. So that's that vertical pull apart. You can also do a horizontal pull apart, which is also great for the back, the upper back, those posterior delts and stuff. Super easy. Take another spring off. So I got 4 springs. I think I can do this with 4 springs. Honestly, don't remember now. I didn't script any of this, but just thought, yeah, got the camera, might as well. So in this case, you're holding up the weight of this, which I would say is probably, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 pounds, 4 or 5, somewhere in there. Depends on how many springs you currently have on it. But hey, you're going to hold that out at full extension with your arms. Keep my shoulders packed, and then go ahead and extend it. Keep my arms out at the horizontal like this. And then exhale, bring it back. So here's what that one looks like from the front. And 4 is definitely probably where I'm at now. From the side. And from the back. I realize that's not the strictest, like you can see, it's funny because I'm right-handed and right side dominant. I've had a hand injury. I've been kind of nursing along, getting better the last almost year now, but I found now this side seems a little more coordinated than this side. So you'll see this one's playing catch up a little bit, maybe if you watch the video pretty close there. Yeah, that's the horizontal pull apart. You might hear it called something else. That's what I've seen it on a few different charts and programs. And even just now, it's been 3 days, 2 days since I've used this, something like that. Man, all through my triceps, like this is all just sore as. My shoulders are definitely feeling it. Traps, you'd be surprised. Like I've almost had trouble sleeping because of DOMs in my traps. So that being said, this is apparently a great way to work your upper back and your neck and everything as far as that yoke look for your traps. Another one I like to do is vertical press. Now, if you've seen my other videos, you know I enjoy doing Turkish get-ups. I enjoy even just doing kettlebell presses overhead. I thought I'd try that with this. So the way that's accomplished, let's go ahead and grab it. It might be easier to see this from the back. I'm going to rotate this around so that my palms are facing out. I'm going to go ahead and extend this arm on the downside and keep it locked out. You'd be surprised. I actually get a fair workout even down here, like kind of like gymnastics, holding it straight. I'm going to lean my body to the side that that straight arm is on, and then this one is going to do the actual pressing. Do it from the side here. Keep my shoulder packed. Do one from the front so you can see that. Come down nice and slow. The negatives are nuts on this, by the way. And normally I'll go to failure on that, but I think right now with 5 springs I'm at, I think about 9-ish I can get in. Don't want to get unbalanced, so you can obviously do the exact same thing on the other side. Rotate this around. Get them straightened out across your back. Get this arm down straight. Same thing. You can hear my elbows there. The joys of being 40. Last one I'll hold on the way back. Oh man. You would not expect that to be as much of a workout as it is. So here's something that can sometimes happen if you've got springs next to each other. If only 2 of them are stuck together, pretty easy to separate them. Sometimes I'll get 3 of them stuck together, maybe a little bit more work, but if you've got enough strength in that vertical pull apart, keep them straight and go back, no problem. So that's presses you can do similar. Instead of pressing up, if you keep your elbow straight and just extend your arm and bend it at the elbow. Nice tricep extension. I've got some other ones I like doing for that though. It's a 4. And now I got 5 on here. Let's see if I can do one of these guys. So it'd be easier if I had a mirror to make sure my arms are straight here. But here's, speaking of triceps, one that I like doing. Bring those out, then back in. Oh, that's pretty much my max 5, I think. I don't think I've actually done that with 5 springs yet. So there you go. That is all lit up now like crazy. It does deliver quite the pump. So let's go back down to 4 springs for a minute here. Pretty easily accomplished. And you can do sets of like 2 or 3 sets, we'll say, with whatever your reps you want to go with based on your programming. I've been finding generally, if I do 1 set of each exercise, there's enough overlap that everything's getting a workout, we'll put it that way. All right, so we've got 4 on here now. What should we do with 4? Maybe we'll try some archers. So I used to be actually into archery a fair bit. I used to shoot traditional and primitive a little bit. I shot instinctive. But if you're used to archery, just think about if you're going to draw your bow, except you're not necessarily using your back as much in this exercise. You're obviously going to get started out there, but once you're set, the idea is for tricep extension. Well, I guess you're not really extending your tricep, you're contracting, extending your arm with your tricep. So it looks like this. Then you can do the same thing on the other side. Bob your uncle. Definitely feeling that as well. Even not just the muscles, but all those ligaments or tendons, I guess I should say, that are attaching everything. I can definitely feel that. So I can see when they talk about that sinewy, ropey physique, where that comes from, honestly. So that's another one I like to do. Let's go back to 5 here. Hopefully you can see my feet are close to them in this video because they're going to come into play here in a minute. What about curls? Everybody wants to get big biceps, although just doing those exercises, I'm feeling that in there quite a bit, even my pecs a little bit. So even though you might be extending, your body's still keeping everything pretty stable, and I can feel that as well. But in this case, I'm pretty sure I can do this with 5. Maybe I'm biting off more than I can chew. I can't remember here. If I place that underneath my foot, go ahead and stand up and get myself straight here, so there's already a bit of tension, and then just start doing curls. Try not to let it snap back, but actually lower it. Do a couple on this side just so I don't get imbalanced. Normally I would go to failure on this with 5. I think I'm at 8 reps, if I remember right, 8 or 9. I think I can do 9 on my right side, but I keep it at 8 so I can let the left side catch up. Same thing, I'm going to take up some tension so my body's straight. And you'll feel that in your core and your back and everything too, just keeping yourself straight. It's stupid. Like, I would never have expected this to work my body as well as it does. So it's another exercise I like to do. You can even. I've done that one. I say I've done it. Let's see if I can do it now that I'm still half forward. With your palms down. Nice forearm exercise. Let's see. Not before, it must have been 3, I'm guessing. Now, like I said about that whole bit about balance, let's say I want to use 3 springs, going from 4 to 3. Go ahead, shift one over to the middle, take that one off. Shift the one you're keeping over to the middle, take that one off. You've still got a nice balance. It's not going to torque that on your hand. Although if you're arm wrestling, maybe you want to practice that, who knows. So let's try it with 3 springs. Oh yeah, way easier. Maybe my technique wasn't great. So yeah, that's another point too. I might have been trying to do a bit of a lateral raise, which you can do. Remember to try to keep my my humerus kind of attached to my body there. And then just try raise it up. Oh yeah, you definitely feel that. Feel that all my forearm and stuff here as well. On this side, just see if I can do that. And you'll see I tend to rotate to the inside. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If that's your biomechanics, then give her. Worked quite well. You can also do, like I said, there's different variations like lat raises. I've seen people with the elbow up doing those, which I'm feeling through the front of my delts, even my traps a little bit. I've seen people do lat raises off to the side, maybe 1 or 2 springs starting out for that, and just bring those up. The longer you stretch these springs, the higher that tension goes, and it's on you the whole time. It's not like you're getting a dumbbell up past a certain point and then it gets easier, or yeah, it's very linear and progressive. Actually, I don't know if it's linear. It might actually be slightly exponential. But long story short, I think this is worth every penny. Now that's just the unit by itself. I don't have a door right here. I can maybe use the front door and show you maybe a bit here. But you can also take a strap or a piece of rope. I've got one geared up with a carabiner that I can put through the handles and then put it up on the door frame with a towel looped in behind so it can't pull through. Close the door, and now I can go ahead and do like work my pecs going down almost like the opposite if you're doing a dip if you're into calisthenics. Or I can drop it lower on the door. I've got to really put my weight against it, but then I can go ahead and try to do presses this way. You can even do rotating movements that way. So if you've got it on like the door or a post or a tree or whatever the case is, some solid safe mount, then you can go ahead and rotate, do some core exercises. If you had 2 of them, you could really get some force behind it, but you could even do crunches and things like that. Even now, just me bending over, I'm feeling that in my back. All these strips of muscles that go down the side of your back here, close to your spine, they are sore, even just from doing those presses. So it's definitely tearing some muscle and leading to some rebuilding. So where did I get this? It's made in Austria by a guy named Robert Berban. And if you go to https colon, I'm guessing a / that the top goes to the right, shop.handgripper.net. He even sent this nice pen here, so I don't know if that's visible or not. If you freeze on that, then you should be able to see it. If I figure out how, I'll put the links in the description. But fantastic piece of equipment. And we'll do a little close up here before we close up the video. You can see those knurled handles, those beautiful welds, nice finish. Got these springs. If for some reason I ever get big and strong enough to max this out, then I can always buy garage door springs. Sounds crazy. People have done it. So then you're looking at a phenomenal amount of force. But as it stands, 70 kilograms of force now. I'm probably going to be at this for a little while. I don't want to say I was getting bored of kettlebells, because you can spend the rest of your life doing kettlebells and keep coming up with new stuff and changing things up. But at the same time, I want to stick out my program. That's what Pavel says, is to stick with it if you expect to see results. And it's kind of glacial as far as progress goes for speed, but I don't know. I'm not looking to get huge gains as far as mass goes. It just takes an awful lot to keep that up, but strength-wise is what I'm looking for. Yeah, that's the chest expander. I'm not sponsored or affiliated by them. I just wanted to share it and show you that sometimes that old school stuff is still pretty darn effective, and I am definitely feeling it 2 weeks into it. And like I say, I've been doing Simple and Sinister for a little over a year and a half with a 71 pound or 32 kilogram kettlebell, and thought I was doing pretty good. That will find your weaknesses and build them up and just kind of get you overall more well-rounded. So, little update. Yeah, I know it's been a while and haven't done anything too earth-shattering here, but I hope you enjoy that. I hope you check it out. Maybe you consider it. Try one out if you can. There's definitely cheaper versions on the market, but you do get what you pay for. So until next time, I'll see you carnivores later.